He lost $14 million in 3 weeks, and here's how he did it. Archie Karas is the most fearless gambler Las Vegas has ever seen. Born on November 1st, 1950 in Antipata, Palaros, Greece, Karas is Greek. In 1992, Karas arrived in Sin City with $50 to his name, borrowed $10,000 from another gambler, and paid it off in a couple of hours later from playing Raz poker. Simply amazing. From 1992 to 1995, he went on the gambler's dream run of a lifetime. Archie built his fortune to $40 million. Like all things, Archie's winning streak ended abruptly at the craps and Baccarat tables. In a span of 2 days, Archie had managed to blow $13 million. Archie was betting $300,000 to $1 million on a roll of the dice for that 3-year hot streak. Simply incredible. For starters, Archie lost $11 million at the craps table. Then Archie moved to Baccarat and proceeded to lose another $17 million and $2 million more to Chip Reese, professional poker player whom Archie won the money from before, making a total of $30 million lost. Poker legends Doyle Brunson and Barry Greenstein recall Archie having no fear of losing money and his uncaring attitude towards losing it. Poker players and gamblers didn't want to play against him heads up, so he moved to the table games to keep his insatiable appetite for gambling filled. Archie, in a little piece for ESPN in 2008, stated that, "Anyone that came in town challenges me, I would play them. I don't care who they are. I beat them all." Nobody wanted to play against him. As a result, Archie said in the same interview, "I had so much action in me, I started playing dice," his eventual downfall. After losing the $30 million, Archie took a little break and went back to Greece to gather himself. But like all gamblers that don't learn their lesson, he came right back to Vegas and went downtown to the Horseshoe Casino to play Baccarat and shoot dice. Archie was betting $300,000 a hand and in 3 weeks or so lost most of his remaining $10 million bankroll except $1 million. Still not satisfied, Archie took his luck to Los Angeles, California to the Bicycle Club Casino to play Johnny Chan and Lyle Berman in a $1 million freeze-out heads-up poker match. Archie wanted to play them both because Archie felt Johnny Chan was the tougher opponent. Archie kept to form and doubled his money to $2 million. But as you know how the story goes, he gave it all back to dice and Baccarat, betting the max limits possible in just a couple of days. He has had a few shorter winning runs since losing his $14 million. He turned $40,000 into $1 million at the Desert Inn less than a year later. Before losing everything the following day, he returned to the Horseshoe and won an additional $4 million. After a few years later, 32 miles outside of Las Vegas at the Gold Strike Casino, Karas went on another streak. He bet $1,800 and lost $1,600, leaving him with just $200. He then made the decision to bet the remaining money after having something to eat. After rolling the dice and turning the $200 into $9,700, he left for Las Vegas. At Fitzgerald's Casino and Hotel, where he stopped, he staked $1,000 with odds of $2,000 and won an additional $36,000. By the third day, he had earned a total of $980,000 from a low $200. He returned to Binion's and won another $300,000 at the Horseshoe. Mind-blowing, we know. What would you have done if you were Archie? Tell us in the comments below. We'd love to see your thoughts. As of 2022, Archie is 71 years old as of the making of this video and has a net worth between $1 million and $5 million. But we have not been able to find a concrete information confirming these numbers. Archie currently lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. Do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and roll the dice like Archie to get great videos like this one every time we publish them. Terrance Watanabe, $127 million lost, gambled or wagered $827 million. Terrance gambled $827 million, losing $127 million, and still owes $15 million of that as of August 2020. Where and how he lost it. If you guessed Las Vegas and the Baccarat table, give yourself a high five. Blackjack too, by the way. See the pattern? Archie Bakaram dice, Terence Bakaram blackjack. Terrible things come in twos, maybe. In 1977, Watanabe received an inheritance of Oriental Trading Company, which he eventually sold in 2000. Watanabe's gambling tendencies drove him into riskier situations year after year, whether out of boredom or desire to try something new. In 2007, after wagering over $825 million, he lost $127 million at Caesar's Palace and the Rio. Today, Watanabe has paid off almost all of his debts within the exception of $15 million, for which he was previously charged with 4 felonies in 2009 and will be again in 2020. If he doesn't pay, he might receive a term of 28 years in prison. We'll keep you posted on that one. Harry Kakavas is the next gambler, losing $20.5 million while wagering $1.43 billion. Can you guess his game of choice? We'll give you hints. The previous two before him love it too. You guessed it, Lux Lifestylers. Baccarat. Oh, this game gets them all, don't they? Kakavas was able to reduce his losses thanks to his foresight, talent, and understanding, which ensured that he didn't suffer the largest losses possible. Kakavas played Baccarat at the Melbourne Crown Casino for 16 months between 2012 and 2013, spending a total of Australian $1.43 billion while suffering net loss of Australian $20.5 million. Kakavas had no problem spending 16 months gambling, but he had a huge problem with the casino keeping the $20.5 million he lost. Kakavas filed a case with the High Court of Australia, alleging that the casino had taken advantage of his pathological drive to gamble, a common argument used by well-known gamblers who either lost it all or just enough to become annoyed. According to the judge's verdict, the presiding judge ruled that Kakavas had demonstrated rational decision-making and was competent to act in his own best interests, including the plaintiff's choice to occasionally abstain from gambling. Nice try, Harry. Better luck next time. Or just don't gamble or quit while you're behind. Yeah, right. Maureen O'Connor, 13 million loss. Gambled or wagered $1 billion. What's her choice of poison? Well, we're glad to report it's not Baccarat. Okay, the streak is broken. Nope, Maureen chose video poker. She was the mayor of San Diego at the time, and her gambling addiction quickly became out of control. One would contend that money follows power, but in the instance of Maureen O'Connor, her gambling compulsion quickly devolved into something far worse. But as compared to other unhappy gamblers, O'Connor has performed admirably in terms of risk mitigation, which may be a trait inheritance in politicians. Despite having wagered over $1 billion, she lost $13 million. Much better than Watanabe's own record and much better than Kakavas. O'Connor, who had to borrow $2 million from her second husband's charitable organization and use the funds to play video poker, is undoubtedly one of the gamblers who lost it all. O'Connor is also the widow of Jack in the Box restaurant entrepreneur Robert Peterson. Next on our list, Charles Barkley, 13 million lost on 13 million gambled or wagered. That's right, Lux Lifestylers, the NBA superstar and TNT analyst for the NBA now made the list. Game of choice? Yep, you guessed it. Baccarat, blackjack, dice, and roulette. Man, he can really pick them, can't he? Charles Barkley's entire fortune, estimated at 13 million, was squandered on gambling. However, Barkley has never looked back on his propensities for gambling since he has always been honest about them. He asserted that he must have lost millions of dollars while actively gambling at 30 different casinos. His perspective on the subject is intriguing to observe. While some have criticized casinos and attempted to sue them, Barkley has been more self-aware of his behavior, appreciating both the good and the bad. Charles Barkley was quoted saying, "I went to Vegas a bunch of times and won millions of dollars, probably 10 times. But I've also gone to Vegas and lost millions, probably 3 times as much." Next on our list, Michael Vick, retired NFL player. 20 million loss, 20 million gambled or wagered. Vick was in charge of the Bad News Kennels, an illegal interstate dogfighting organization, and he was the main source of funding for the business's gambling activities. Vick was immediately suspended by the NFL commissioner Roger Goodell, who said that his actions were not simply in violation of the league's professional standards, but also seriously unethical given the circumstances. Vick's team, the Atlanta Falcons, which he was playing for at the time, didn't agree with his actions either. Vick earned a bonus of $37 million, and they informed him in writing that he now owed them $20 million in back pay. Vick has used the bonus money to fund the gambling ring, the court said, siding with the Falcons. He received a 23-month sentence following a protracted and torturous trial. Vick was sentenced with a failed polygraph and a failed drug test, which the jury said indicated that he had not accepted full responsibility for his acts. $250.5 million lost to Baccarat, blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, and dogfighting. $3,347 million gambled or wagered from 6 people alone. That is an insane amount of money to be risking to beat the casinos. As you can see, the casinos always win. That's why you hear people saying all the time, all the big casinos in Vegas were not built by the winners, but by the losers. Charles Barkley and Archie Karas are living proof, and they're not the only ones. We hope we gave you future millionaires and billionaires inspiration on what you'll spend your money on when you make it big. Hopefully, not gambling in Vegas. If you like this video, check out one of the other ones on screen, and we'll catch you in the next one. Till next time, Lux Lifestyle family, ciao.